started. So yeah, we are going to record this session just for anybody after the session. But hi, my name is Dan Toombs. I am the chapter lead, one of the chapter leads for the ACE Solent area, so Solent UK. And today we have Zigiwave joining us, and they are going to be doing a presentation on kind of like integrating JSM with other ITSM solutions, a bit about why and how you may want to do that. So we have Dan from Zigiwave joining us. So hi, Dan.
Hello, everyone.
Perfect. Why don't you run us through and help us kind of understand why and how we may want to join JSM with other ITSM solutions?
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you. So first, let me introduce myself. Who am I? My name is Daniel Kalchev. I'm the product manager at Zigiwave, and I have more than 10 years experience working with enterprise software and integrations. Today, the webinar is going to be focused on Jira Service Management, what is ITSM, when and how you can plan for Jira Service Management integrations, how to connect your ITSM systems if you use more than one, and what are the challenges when planning such connections. So first, very shortly, what is ITSM? In general, it's the set of best practices for managing end-to-end delivery of IT services to customers and peers. It focuses on collaboration, communication, increasing efficiency, standardizations of operations and procedures, reducing costs, speeding up of visual resolution, improving scalability and visibility. What are some of the popular ITSM tools at the moment? So we already know about the Jira SM. Other popular tools are the BMC Remedy, Freshservice, ServiceNow, Salesforce, Cherwell, Zendesk, and there are some others as well. In general, all these tools are aiming at achieving the same thing. And sometimes it's possible that within a single organization, more than one of these tools are used at the same time. So for really shortly on Jira Service Management, it's one of the most popular ITSM tools with the benefits that it's really easy to deploy and easy to use. It's very flexible and adjustable to any use case, and of course, it follows all the principles of ITSM. What are the benefits of integrating your ITSM tools with the Jira SM? Is that you can focus on faster issue resolution, better team communication and collaboration, better productivity and efficiency, eliminating delays and errors related to manual transfer of data. If you don't have the integration, sometimes you need to transfer data by hand. Better visibility into the overall process, and real-time data synchronization. What is important when looking for an integration with Jira Service Management? It's the first and most important thing is to clear your use case requirements so that you know exactly what you want to achieve. Then ensure that those requirements are compatible with Jira Service Management. And then that the actual tool that you're going to use is flexible and customizable so that it will cover your requirements, and if they change in the future, they would also be supported. It's easy to configure. If it has a user interface for the configuration, that's better. It's easy to use. Again, it's related to a user interface, and then it's easy to maintain. meaning that once it's developed, it's easy to deploy, it's easy to support, it's easy to handle issues with the solution. It's secure, meaning that it's going to follow all the best practices and standards for security. It's scalable, so that if your integration requirements rise, it will be able to handle that without any additional development. And it has a great performance, meaning that it doesn't impact in any negative way the systems that you are going to integrate. Now, what are typical types of integrations? In general, we have internal integrations, external integrations with a service provider or consultant, and then integration tools or platforms. A couple of words for each. The internal integrations usually are within the company or the organization. They are using internal resources and people for their development, and they cover their specific use case for the current moment with their current systems. The plus of this approach is that it's small in scope usually, and then it doesn't involve any external resources. You can do it internally. The negatives of this approach is that usually it's quite limited and the solution is very use case specific. So, and also system specific. So if something changes in the future, maybe you update your system or some of the requirement change, it's not very flexible and it would require additional development for any such changes. Additionally, because of this, it's kind of hard to evaluate costs with this approach, since the initial cost might be small, but then for every change in the future, you need additional development and testing, so the costs might pile up over time. With the external integration with a service provider, the benefits are that the actual development is going to be handled externally, so you're not going to involve your resources and spend them on this. But again, such an integration might be tailored for your particular needs at the moment, and it will most likely require additional development and handling all changes in the future as additional projects. And then the final thing in the final way is the integration tool or the integration platform. With this approach, the overall integration is already developed by an external provider, and the integration tool is ready to use. It already supports your systems and your use case, and not only your use case, but hopefully other use cases as well. So in this approach, you don't need to wait and waste time for development. Everything is already done, so you can start using the tool directly. You just need to connect your systems. And then the external tool is also assures that if you update your system versions or something in your use case requirements changes, that these changes are already supported and you don't need further development in order to achieve those. So the next, why would and how you would approach finding the best integration solution for your use case. So the leading factor is your use case and the requirements themselves. If you have simple requirements, then you can approach. You have all the like options. You can achieve it with an internal integration. But if your use case is complex and you plan to evolve it in the future, maybe to include more systems or more types of data, then the approach would be into going to an external tool or platform. And also, of course, it should be scalable with your requirements. So if they if they scale up in the future, then it should support this as well. But in general, the best integration tool is the tool that's achieving all of your requirements for the suitable price that you want to spend on it. So from the integration perspective, again, we have different approaches where we can use no-code integrations, low-code or code integrations. And with this, of course, the main goal is to have ease of use. So if you have a user interface with no code, this would be the easiest way of controlling an integration platform. If you have code integrations like full code or raw code, then the deployment and the development, usually if you develop it from scratch, it's faster. But then the actual deployment and maintenance is more complicated because you need to be fluent in the code and you need to know what you're doing, or you might require assistance from the developers in order to operate the system. Another thing to consider is that you might, where you want to deploy the integration, if it's going to be part of the systems directly in the form of a plugin or some custom entities, or it can be an external platform altogether, in which case you don't impact your systems with customizations. Something to consider as well is how data is going to be handled. So how you filter data, how you map data from one system to the other, and how you handle correlations between already transferred tickets. So based on this, I have prepared some example scenarios where they can visualize that. So we have the first thing is we have a simple integration scenario where we have only two systems and only one type of data that is going to be integrated between them. We can have, for the example, a ServiceNow ITSM, which is going to be used for support management. And then just the Jira Service Management is going to be used internally for planning a product with their features, handling internal development tasks, handling and fixing issues with a particular product. So in the example, when a customer of your organization opens a support ticket, this support ticket will immediately be transferred by the integration to Jira Service Management as an incident, so that you can see it there immediately that something happened and you can react to it. And then you can start working. And once the ticket is fixed, this would update the related support ticket in ServiceNow and your customers from there. And during this process, if any updates happen, either, let's say, a comment is added to the ticket in ServiceNow, this will be synchronized to Jira Service Management as a comment. So if you add a comment in Jira Service Management, this will be reflected in ServiceNow. And this means that if your organization is using predominantly JSM, they would not require any actual access to ServiceNow in order to see all the relevant data from there and to work correctly with it. Another more complicated scenario would be handling more than two systems into an integration. And this example here handles such a scenario where we can have a Dynatrace system which is monitoring, let's say, an application. And if it detects an issue with the application, it will automatically create a problem. And the integration is then going to transfer this problem as a problem or an incident in Jira SM, for which the Jira team can evaluate it, and from this incident or problem, they can open a bug to Jira software, which will be handled by the developers. Meanwhile, if this application has impacted the customers, they can submit a support ticket to the Salesforce ITSM, and then the integration can check that this support ticket is actually already exists in Jira SM as an incident, and it can link the two tickets together. So that from this point forward, if you update something in Jira SM, it would automatically update the support ticket in Salesforce, or the other way around. If a customer starts asking for progress updates, this will automatically go into Jira SM. So you don't need to leave the Jira SM environment in order to know of this information. And once the issue is resolved, this would automatically update your Jira SM incident and close it, which will after that it will automatically resolve the support ticket, and it will inform the customer that the issue was resolved successfully. So this is the example of a more complicated case. Another main point of the integration is how you handle security, mainly on the access to your applications, and also how you handle your data. The best approach there is for any tool that's going to integrate your system to use only the official REST APIs, which are provided by the vendors, and also only the proper authorization for each of the systems. Also for any kind of communication, use encryption. And when collecting data, verify that the data that's collected is correct and full before actually delivering it to the destination system, to make sure that only relevant data is being transferred. Having logs on the solution for tracking data collection, transformation, and delivery, so that you can find any errors during this process and you can easily correct them. And also having logs for tracking any configuration changes that might impact the integration, so that if the integration is working fine and that at some point it stops working, you would know immediately that, first of all, an error happened, and then what led to this error, like were there any changes to the working configuration. On the other hand, any vendor that you select for your integration solution should be compliant with the security and privacy standards for data protection. They should be like the vendor itself should be like certified. This is the best way to approach it, and the data that's being part of the integration should be secure, meaning that you should always have the option to mask data or to remove sensitive data that you don't want to be part of the transfer. One thing to consider is also the data residency during the integration. This means that during the process of collecting data from one system and delivering it to another system, if this data can be stored somewhere as like a buffer, or if it's stored after the transfer has been completed. And of course, every solution should be scalable, like we mentioned before. That if the amount of data that you transfer increases, this should be covered, and it shouldn't cause any risks to either the system or to the integration itself. Now I have prepared a quick demo of an example integration between Jira Service Management and ServiceNow for ticket transfer. So let's see how this would work like. So on the left side, we have our ServiceNow system. We can create a new incident there to simulate a new problem being detected. And the integration has been set up and activated so that if such a ticket is opened, then it will automatically be transferred to our Jira SM environment. And after the transfer is completed, we are going to receive the Jira SM number, ticket number back to our service now, so that we know that the transfer has been completed successfully. And on the Jira side, we can see the ticket and also that it is connected to an incident with a particular number in ServiceNow. After this initial synchronization is completed, then if you do any changes in either system, like updating a description or adding a comment, this would the integration is going to take this new information and it would automatically update the ticket in Jira SM. And the same is true if you do updates from the other system. So we can already see our description being updated. Now the next thing is that the comment is going to arrive. Now we change the lifecycle to the status to in progress. So all of these changes are going to be synchronized automatically. And this is not limited to what fields you can use. So typically, a good integration platform is going to handle all the available fields that you have. This would include even custom fields and customizations that you have made for your system. Now we can see that we can do the same updates from the Jira SM. So if you make changes there, those changes are immediately delivered to the origin system, so that both tickets are kept in sync all the time. And then all of this again is automatic, so nothing manual in this process. And this way you minimize any delays in communication and any missed updates as well. Here we can see that we now closed the ticket, and this closed the ticket in our original system. So this is a pretty basic example of a working integration between two systems. And now a very short word on how this looks like from an example integration platform. So when we create an integration, the things that we're interested in are how we collect data and how we deliver data. So it's the best option is to configure your data collection directly from a user interface and to also control how data is going to be reported from the user interface directly. Here we can see an example of field mapping where on one side we have our Jira SM fields and on the other side we have our ServiceNow fields. And they're mapped so that you know exactly what you want to deliver to which exact field. And also we have our systems specified, and also how correlation between the tickets is going to be handled when the two tickets are already transferred. And we are not limited to using only a specific type of incidents. We can, in the best case, you are going to be able to synchronize any data type between any of the systems. So any table or any entity type in ServiceNow to any project, any issue type in Jira SM, and for any other ITSM tools as well, like any type of record would be available for the integration platform. So this is what I wanted to focus on regarding the presentation. And now